Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, today I wanted us to discuss why the RWBY soundtrack is actually important. And there are actually a lot of reasons as to why these soundtracks are actually important, but I just thought that would be a very interesting discussion to talk about, and so hopefully you all will enjoy, and so sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and jump right on into this discussion. So, now, a big thing about RWBY is not just its plot, not just its action, but if you look at the soundtrack is actually a lot more important than people think. And yes, it's good music and it's stuff for all of us to love to listen to, but these songs have more meaning than you may actually think. They actually give us a lot of insight to a lot of characters, and they actually have a lot of foreshadowing, as well as telling us what these characters feel or, how they think about certain things. Because some of these songs will actually foreshadow the plot, foreshadow something that may actually happen within the future volumes of RWBY, and it's something to actually think about because if you look at some of these songs, they really do that. Not only that, but as well as giving us an insight into the characters' minds of a certain situation or the way they think about certain things, or even their own backstories a little bit. I mean, it doesn't flush out the entirety of the backstory, but it kind of flushes out some things. And I'll give you some examples of what are actually important when it comes to some of these songs. Because, for one, let's look at the Mirror Mirror series of songs that's actually about Weiss. I mean, if you look at her, she had an isolated life. She's had it actually very hard due to her father, Jacques, being an alcoholic. And she's actually had a lot of things of having to push people away because of her life. She is not very trusting right off the bat because of the things that she's gone through in her situations. And of course, with her life really feeling more like it's been, dominated by her own father, and at the same time, her trying to break free and have her own control of her own life and make it what she wants to make it. That has been the one big thing if you look at the Mirror Mirror series. And, it finally just kind of tells you that, hey, Weiss is finally free of the burdens that she's dealt with all of her life up to this point. And it's actually very interesting to look at what the whole point of these songs actually are talking about. It actually goes into her character more. And another song that you have to look at, which is Bumblebee. Bumblebee, obviously, you automatically could sit there and say, well, that's the shipping of Blake and Yang. And yes, it is, but at the same time, the song itself actually talks about Blake and Yang, and this is their perspectives on their feelings towards each other. And a lot of people don't really think about that, or they put it into the thought of it is really more so the thought of just Yang and how she feels about Blake. But this goes into both of their thoughts. This goes into how both of them actually feel, and it gives you the idea of how Yang feels and how Blake feels both. And it's actually really interesting to see that this dives into their character thoughts about one another, because, there have been some perspectives where we've actually heard in the series how certain characters feel about certain characters, but this actually dives into the minds of these characters sometimes, and it actually is very interesting on how this really does connect to these characters. And another one, if you actually look at it, is Bad Luck Charm. Now, Bad Luck Charm is obviously about Crow, and it's about his semblance. And, if you think about it, it actually kind of, comes down to a lot of the whole he does not like his own semblance. And, we've actually heard that within the series itself, but at the same time, this gives us more clues and implications upon why Crow hates it, and that he also has problems with himself, that because of through his alcoholism as well, that he doesn't like himself as well as him not actually liking his semblance. And if you look at I'm the One really actually talks about Emerald and Mercury, and I actually find this one to be a very interesting song because not only does it have a very good beat, but at the same time, looking at this talks about where they're from, what they've kind of dealt with, their opinions, and how they actually work. Now, it's actually a very interesting song talking about them, kind of giving you more of an idea of their characters and what they've actually gone through and who they actually are. And I actually like that. And then, of course, you have to also look at Sacrifice. Sacrifice itself is actually Cinder. That's her theme. It's actually her theme and about how she feels about Osmond as well as Salem. This has a little bit of Salem in it, but this is Cinder's theme, and this is her reasons for why she's actually against Osmond, her plans, her motive. And, it's very interesting because it lets us dive into Cinder's character more, considering that we've only had a little bit of a backstory, but it tells us more about her and about why she is against Osmond. It gives us clues, and that's the thing. This foreshadows a lot of things. And when Sacrifice came out, that was actually back within Volume 2 at the end, and obviously gives us some implications and ideas in Volume 3. And if you actually look at it, these songs, they're very interesting. They actually bring a lot of thoughts into the future of the series. They give us a lot of insights to the characters and how they feel, or just their own thoughts. I mean, this is actually something very interesting. And, when you listen to this song, of course, you're going to get a good beat. You're going to get something good out of it. But, and you're going to have a good time with it. But, what you have to look at is they actually have meaning. They actually have a big point, and they're very well done. They actually do give us these whole thoughts of what could happen in the future of the series, and they also give us these thoughts of how the characters think, what is going through their heads about certain things, and this gives us more of an insight to the characters that the series may not have enough time to do, considering it only has so much time to run episodes per volume, and there's only limited time to do certain things. I find this to be very interesting. I actually enjoy this, and I will start individually talking about a lot of these songs, and soon, upcoming on this next week, I'm actually going to talk about a song that has a lot of controversy amongst the community, and I'm going to break it down and I'm going to talk about it so that everybody can have a better understanding of the song. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will be back again on Tuesday. Let me know what you think down below. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, hit the video with a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and share this with your friends if you found this informative or useful. Well, anyways, just remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and I hope you all have a good one. Take care, everybody.